Welcome back to another video. What the hell, Justin? You're making a swimming video? Yeah! I gotta finish what I started, man. In a previous video, I introduced the whip kick part of the breaststroke. Now, if you haven't watched that video, watch it now because you won't be able to do this exercise that I'm gonna show you without being able to perform really good whip kicks. Because for breaststroke, the main pushing or the main factor in getting from A to B is your whip kick, it's your legs. Whereas front crawl, it's the arms, obviously. You need a really good, really strong, really effective whip kick in order to make your breaststroke work. Otherwise, what I'm going to show you right now, when it comes to the upper body part portion and the timing, isn't going to matter. In that previous video, we discussed how to perform the whip kick, and it should look like this. Knees close together, wide out. If the knees are apart, then you're doing a frog kick. So this looks like a frog kick right now, and it's not as effective. You see? Because my legs are wide apart and they're not closing. Okay, I need to close that gap where you can push that water in just one direction, that way, so my body can go this way. If I'm pushing the water to the sides, I'm not really going to get a good thrust going forwards. And that's what you see in most swimming pools. You see a lot of old people doing their frog kicks to the sides, and they're not really moving forward as fast as they can be moving if they just applied this technique of closing their legs, bringing their knees closer together. If you're doing it properly, you should be moving forward. I want you to pay attention to the whip kick timing. You notice that I'm not going whack, 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 like front crawl would be. No, I'm going like this. Whip kick, glide. Whip kick, glide. Whip kick, glide. So you notice that I'm gliding and I'm just using that forward momentum from that whip kick, that previous whip kick, in order for me to just cruise on by. And that's what a lot of people don't incorporate when they do their whip kick or their breaststroke. It's the glide portion. The great thing about breaststroke versus front crawl is that you can take a break. You can rest. You can give your body time to just recuperate for a few seconds and then prepare for that next whip kick, that next breaststroke pull. Whereas front crawl, you're constantly moving 24/7 like an unstoppable motor. You gotta keep doing this. There's no time for pausing. For every whip kick, you're gonna do double the amount of glide. Okay, so in my head, I do one whip kick and I think of 2 glides. All right, so I want to extend that glide as long as possible. I don't want to just like slow down. I'm not moving fast enough. But in reality, breaststroke is much slower than front crawl. It's like comparing walking to running. Running is front crawl, walking is breaststroke. As you can see, I do one really effective whip kick and I can just take advantage of that momentum for about 2 proportions worth, all right? Anything longer than that, I'm gonna be too slow and I'm gonna have to catch up with that speed that I'm trying to baseline. Practice this drill a lot. You should be able to do 25 meters or 1 lap worth of this exercise before we move on to this part, the upper body. If I had to compare breaststroke and front crawl, I would say front crawl is like a man and breaststroke is like a woman, okay? Front crawl is very simple and powerful like a man, and breaststroke is very complicated and elegant like a woman, okay? Do not confuse the two. Front crawl is straightforward, 1, 2, 3, breathe. Whereas breaststroke, the timing is a lot more difficult, okay? Another cool fact is that the whip kick portion of your breaststroke will be the same Whether you perform a really fast breaststroke like competitive swimmers do, or a really lazy breaststroke like you see seniors do at your local pool. So you don't have to worry about the whip kick portion now throughout the rest of this video. Now let's talk about the upper body. Let me break it down what you're actually doing with your upper body. First of all, your arms are going to look like this. They're not going to really be important in terms of thrusting you forwards in breaststroke compared to front crawl. Front crawl, you're doing this, right? But breaststroke, you're just doing this. Do you see the difference? Okay, so don't try to grunt your way through doing breaststroke. It's not necessary. If you're going to try to do this, then you're going to go into butterfly mode, okay? So don't try to like that. You want to pull as quickly and subtly as possible, okay? So I think of it like this, okay? My elbow is going to be making a 90-degree angle like this, both sides, okay? This is as far as I go when it comes to pulling, okay? Take note of this. You should not be going past your chest when it comes to pulling with the breaststroke. If you pull past, you're going to wreck your shoulder, first of all, and you're doing unnecessary pulling. Palms should be right in front of your chest. Next thing is that you want to bring your hands together. Arrowhead is basically what you're trying to shape your arms into in order for your whip kick, in order to cut into the water or cut into the air. So I think of it like a bow and arrow. If the bow is the whip kick, then the arrowhead is the arms, okay? So that's why I say the arms assist the breaststroke. They don't do all the work. It's the whip kick that does the breaststroke part, all right? The bow, the actual coiling of the string, doing, let that arrow fly, but it needs an arrowhead in order to cut through that water or air. You need a really sharp arrowhead in order to cut through this water, all right? So the way to do that is to set up your arrowhead like this. You're gonna bring your fingers together, and usually what I do is I align my fingertips, starting with the middle fingers, and then index, ring, pinky, thumb, palm, and then cut, like that. All right, do you see that? You see where my elbows are? Fingertips are gonna touch. Middle finger, index, ring, pinky, thumb, palm, cut. And you want to stab that water as hard as you can. Stab it. This. Okay? Like that. Okay? You don't want to... You can if you want. There's so many variations. Okay? I've seen so many of them. Always think of an arrowhead, bow and arrow, when you're doing a breaststroke. Okay? And the gliding part, you want to know, is the part where your arrow flies into the air and you just let it go. Alright? So take note of that as well. And I want you to just practice this. Just squat it in the water and practice this part. You don't even have to breathe. Just do this. You're going to get used to this. This is going to be done like thousands and thousands of repetitions in the water. Okay? So get used to this, buddy. Alright? There. The fingertips aligned. Stab the water. Okay? Now, when you breathe into the water, it's not like a front crawl breath, okay? So front crawl breath, you're doing steady, right? 3, 4, 3, right? Breaststroke breath is, the timing is a little bit different. If you didn't catch that, when you're doing your front crawl breath, you have a lot more time to gather a big breath as your arm swings around your head. Whereas a breaststroke, you only have a few seconds to catch a really good breath, okay? It's like bobbing for apples, all right? You don't want to be sticking your head out for as long as possible when you're doing the breaststroke. No, you want to go in, you want to go out and in as quickly as possible, okay? You want to sneak that breath in. So you don't want to do this. No, that's too long. Your body is out of shape. It's out of whack now. You look like this in the water. You just lost all your speed. Out of the water, back in as quick as possible. You see that? Very quick. You need that speed. Every second that you spend sticking your head out is slowing down your breaststroke. You should not be doing this. You see a lot of people doing that? Don't do that, okay? That's not effective. Why? Because you're constantly sticking your head up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're just killing all your speed, okay? You're just giving yourself a roadblock, okay? In order to gain that speed, you need to glide and stay under the water as long as possible. I recommend doing front kicking while doing this upper body breaststroke part. So it's gonna look something like this. If you're doing it properly, you should be able to link more than one of these breaststroke breaths at a time. Note that when you're doing front kicking, it's a lot harder to do this exercise. So once you incorporate the whip kick part into this, it's gonna be a lot easier, okay? So if you're struggling, don't worry, it's normal. Now let's talk about the final part of breaststroke. The timing, okay? Putting it all together. The funny thing is that there are two versions of this timing. I would say that 90% of people performing the breaststroke do the lazy average Joe version, okay? And that is, they put the whip kick and the arms into the same category of timing. Most people that you see doing the breaststroke timing, they look something like this. Now, did you catch that? If you didn't, you'll probably notice that my arms and my legs are working together. It's kind of like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 kind of movement together. Do you notice that? 1, 2, 1, 2. You can do this if you want. Most people at your local pool are doing this, whether they know it or not. But is it the most effective breaststroke? Is it the most proper breaststroke? Well, if you ask a competitive swimmer, they would probably tell you no. If you ask a lifeguard instructor, they would probably tell you no. The proper way of doing a breaststroke timing is to separate the arms and the legs into two categories. The arms have to come first. The whip kick comes second. You need to perform the arms first and reach this final destination before you can perform a whip kick. And it's going to look something like this. Now, did you see that? If you didn't, watch this video again. In my head, I don't do my whip kick until my arms are here. So arms up. That's it. Final position. And then I do a whip kick. I know, it's going to throw you off at first. The timing is very difficult. Like I said, like a woman. Like this. You can do that if you want, all right? No shame in that. But later on, as you advance into breaststroke, further and further, spend more hours, you'll notice that in order to get faster, in order to be more effective, in order to save energy and just ride that momentum out, this is a lot more effective because think of it like a bow and arrow again. You don't want to fire the arrow and then set up your arrowhead afterwards, do you? Instead, what you want to do is set up your arrowhead first and then let the bow fly. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of timing. You want your breaststroke arms to be set up first, the arrowhead, and then you let the bow fly with your whip kick. And then you just let it glide. And if you see people performing this in your local pool, it's very rare, okay? Competitive swimmers know this. Most experienced swimmers know this, but most local people don't know it, all right? So there's a valuable lesson right there. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and if you really want to swim, if you're really serious about this, click the link below. Join our Facebook group, it's totally free, and you can ask questions to me and the rest of the group. And if you really need a swimming course that teaches you from A to Z how to swim, sign up for 7dayswim.co. Click that link below. Take my online course, get instant access to the video course that will give you the training and the guideline, the workout regimen that you need in order to become a good swimmer. If you want a swim cap like this, check out newwaveswimboy.com. They got really nice, cool looking silicone swim caps in various bright colors for open water and indoor swimming like this one. And check out themagic5.com. Click the link below, pick up your custom pair of awesome goggles, and start swimming now. Okay, talk to you later, bye.